Hey guys, so I'm gonna talk about a lot of things in this video, including NaNoWriMo, my November wrap-up. I'm gonna show you a couple books that I got in November, and I'm gonna talk about my December TBR. So real quick, I'm not gonna talk about for each thing for a very long time because I just want to get through everything. NaNoWriMo. It went pretty well. I felt really good the whole month while I was writing. I felt really good about what I was writing, and I felt like it was coming out in a really nice way. And it was an idea I've been thinking about for a pretty long time, and I'm just really glad to finally be seeing it come to life on the page. It felt really good. I didn't win NaNoWriMo. I really liked NaNoWriMo because it does force you to sit down and write every day, and it kind of shows you how great it can feel to sit down and write every day, if that's what you're into. And I would definitely found that it was so helpful to be motivated to kind of win, but at the same time, the only possible way to win NaNoWriMo is to write at least 1,670 words every single day the entire month. And the second you the day you get behind like even a little bit, it kind of adds up. Like if you get 1,500 words a few days in a row, it adds up, and it's just like it becomes even more daunting to catch up, because then you find yourself having to write twice as much on a single day after you've kind of had a few off days, and it's really depressing to look at your numbers and see that you have to catch up 5,000 words in a single day to be able to catch up. I kind of stopped paying attention to actually reaching 50,000 words. I just kind of wrote at my own pace, and I felt like that was where I found NaNoWriMo to be really helpful. I got to 35,000 words, which for me, I handwrite stuff. I got to 100 pages. For me, that's 350 words a page. I counted a few different pages throughout the entire thing, and it was somewhere, every single page was right around 350. Some were closer to 400 and some were closer to 300 depending on what was on the page, so I just made an average of 350, and I feel like that's pretty fair. So I wrote 100 pages of handwritten stuff. Look at all that. You can see a few crossings out. I did really good with not editing. Sometimes I just kind of wrote a sentence and I was like, that's not how I meant to write that, so I crossed it out and rewrote it again. But that was the biggest extent to the editing that I did, and I felt really good, and I'm gonna keep writing it. At the end of the month, the weekend before the last weekend of the month, I got sick. I was dead to the world basically. I didn't feel like writing. I didn't feel like doing anything. And a couple days, this was the weekend before Thanksgiving, and I still had to go to work Monday and Tuesday of that week, and it was pretty awful. And then I started getting better that week. My friends were starting to come home for Thanksgiving, and I started hanging out with them. And so that whole week I basically didn't write hardly anything. And yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I might have been able to catch up in one if I had written that week, but I didn't. I've been writing a little bit more since then. I think what I found to be really comfortable was writing about 1,000 words a day. That's usually where I felt really good. I could usually get to 1,000 words pretty easily. If I try to get over 1,000 words a day, to reach the 1,670 word goal a day, it kind of felt weird. I was kind of pushing and kind of forcing myself to sit there and keep writing. But doing 1,000 words a day is where I felt really comfortable, and I feel like that's perfectly fine to me. It means if in a 30-day month I can write 30,000 words, that's awesome. And I'm gonna keep writing this. I'm gonna finish this book and see what happens, I guess. I'll make a second draft later on at some point. As far as November wrap-up went, I didn't read hardly anything this month just because I was so focused. All the time that I usually spend reading, I spent writing instead, because I was trying to force as many words as possible out of myself every single night. So I only really read, it spent me half the entire month to read this, A Feast for Crows by George R. R. Martin, 4th book in A Song of Ice and Fire, which was good. I really liked the series, of course. This book didn't do it for me as much as the other ones, just because most of the characters we had to read from the perspective of I didn't like. It wasn't as exciting as the other books. I hate Cersei with a passion. I hate reading from her perspective, and I hope I never have to again. I'm really excited for the next one because we get to read from like Tyrion and Daenerys and Jon, and hopefully more Arya, and I will really like that much more, I think. Like I said, the series as a whole is great. This one just wasn't as good as the other 3 so far. And then after that, I read Stephen King's new book, Revival. This is the UK version. I got it from Book Depository because I like this cover a lot more than the other one. I'm going to be doing a full review of this sometime very soon. I meant to do it that week where I was sick / Thanksgiving week, and I just, like I said, I didn't feel like doing anything at all besides like sleeping and the things that I had to do, and yeah, I just kind of forgot about doing a review for it, but I'm going to do a review for it. I really liked it. It was good. I gave it either 4 or 4.5 stars. It hasn't been the 2 books he released this year, Mr. Mercedes and this, weren't as good for me as some of the other stuff he's been releasing lately, like 11/22/63 and Joyland and Dr. Sleep. These ones weren't quite as good, but I still really liked it. I'm going to talk about it more in a review. Basically, it's about this kid. We follow the entire life of this guy named Jamie and his kind of encounters with this priest. This new priest comes to his town when he's very, very young, and the priest is very young himself, and it just kind of shows them throughout Jamie's life kind of having these weird encounters, and just things get weirder and weirder as time goes on until we get to like, he's like 60 something at the end, maybe, I don't know, but it's a very strange book. It's also very good. And like I said, I'll talk more about it in a review. And then I've been listening to audiobooks recently, and I'm really liking it. The first audiobook I finished earlier this month was Lizzie's Story. I hadn't read the book in a while, and I wanted to listen to it to see what I remembered and what I didn't. And it was good. I liked the narrator for it. She was pretty good. And overall, it was a good experience listening to it. It was the very first audiobook I've ever listened to, and I thought it was a good idea to listen to a book I already knew I liked, just to see how I felt about audiobooks, and I really liked it. The next book I listened to after that was called Lock In by John Scalzi. It was narrated by Will Wheaton, and that was really good. I did a full review of this, so I'm just going to link to that down below. Basically, it's like a future where people become locked in, and you kind of get trapped in your own head. You can't do anything with your body, and the world is kind of evolved around this for like helping people who get locked in kind of become a part of society again. And it's really good. I gave it 4 or 5 stars. It wasn't like amazing, but it was a lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun, especially Will Wheaton's narrating. I really liked it. Then I listened to The Talisman, which is by Stephen King and Peter Straub. I've already read that book as well, but I've been really wanting to reread it because it kind of has some connections to the Dark Tower series, which I've been reading this year, and I kind of wanted to see where those connections were that I might have missed when I read that. It was one of the first books I ever read by him, and I actually read the sequel, Black House, last year, so I just kind of want to become refreshed on that book. And the book itself was really good. The audiobook, I hated it a lot. Like, the narrator I didn't like in the slightest. He was just so wrong. Stephen King's writing, like, I feel like I can say this because I've read enough Stephen King. Stephen King's writing just has this certain like feel to it. It sounds a certain way when you read it. Like the words just have this certain flow to them. And this guy that was reading it, I don't remember his name, I think it's like Frank Mueller or something. It was just awful. Like every single thing that happened, like throughout the entire book, throughout the like 800 pages worth of material, the guy is like saying everything as if in great awe of everything that's happening. Like, Jack did this, and they did that, and they did, oh, and oh my god, yeah, ooh, ah. It was just like, every single thing was like that, and it was awful. It was so bad. I got like a certain way through it, and I got used to it, and the guy's voices that he did for the characters were really good, but the regular reading itself was just like the worst, and I didn't like it. But then I listened to Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and I really liked the narrator for that. The narrator was named Carolyn McCormick, and I liked her. I think she did a really good job. The writing style is kind of like cold and very analytical, and she did a very good job, I think, of expressing that in different ways when she was reading, like things each different character was saying. This book, I was going to do a full review, but I don't think I'm going to. I liked it. It was like 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I had a few problems with it, but overall it was good. Basically, it was about the 12th expedition into this place called Area X, where a lot of very, very odd things are happening. And this is like an all-women group into it. There's no character names given. We read from the perspective of a biologist, and the other characters are the psychologist, the anthropologist, and the surveyor. And they're all women. It's kind of about what their experiences are and how things just get weirder and weirder for them. And the main character whose perspective we read from, the biologist, kind of documenting what's happening there and kind of giving us a bit of background into her life. Like the fact that her husband was on the expedition before the one she went on. And basically it's just really weird. It's really interesting, and I definitely recommend you give it a shot. Don't really go in with many expectations because there really isn't any to be had. It's very strange, and I liked it. I'm going to listen to the audiobooks for the next two, Authority and Acceptance. I can't remember which order those go in, but I'm going to listen to those as well sometime soon. Then at the end of the month, I started reading All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I didn't get very far through it, and I still haven't finished it yet, because I took a break from it to read The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. This is the third book in the Gentleman Bastard series. I read it with Lindsay from Lindsay Ray, Sarah from Books and Junk, Michael from Bitten by a Radioactive Book, Sana from Inkbones Books, and P.T. Hilton from P.T. Hilton, and Samantha from Novels and Nonsense. She was listening in on our Voxer conversation because she had already read it like a couple months before and wanted to listen to our thoughts, and it was awesome. Not going to talk about it a whole lot right now because I technically finished it in December, so I'll just talk about it in December wrap-up. Basically, it was awesome, and I love Scott Lynch. I love the series, one of my favorite series that I've read this year, for sure, and I recommend it to everyone that loves fantasy because it's freaking amazing. I'm just going to tell you real quick some books that I got in November. The first one you've already seen is Revival by Stephen King, and another book I got this month you've already seen as well is Republic of Thieves. And I also got The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss, novella in the Kingkiller Chronicles, all around Ori. And if you've read the other two books in the series, then you know who that is. I'm told it doesn't really have that much of a plot, but I don't really care. I like Ori a lot, and I'm definitely going to read it sometime soon. It's really short. I also got The Mere Empire by Cameron Hurley. I've heard a lot of really good things about her writing, a lot of very interesting things about this book. Some people it works for, and some people it doesn't work for. From what it sounds to me, I think I'll really like it a lot. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing all the different things that Cameron Hurley plays with in this, all the different fantasy tropes she tries to destroy, and that sounds really exciting to me, so I'm gonna definitely read this very soon. So now my December TBR, the very first thing I'm gonna do is finish All the Light We Cannot See. I'm reading this right now. Then after that, I'm going to read Elantris by Brandon Sanderson because it's the last book in the Cosmere that I haven't read yet, besides Emperor's Soul, which I'm also going to read. I'm going to read Legion, and I'm going to read both of these. I was only going to read The Emperor's Soul, but I'm also going to read Legion because the sequel, Legion Skin Deep, was free on Audible, and I just went ahead and got it, so I'm going to read Legion and The Emperor's Soul, and then I'm going to listen to Legion Skin Deep. And so I want to finish all of the Brandon Sanderson Cosmere books before the end of the year, and I only have these left, so I think that'll be fine. After that, really my only real goal after that is to finish the Dark Tower series, which...
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Ready!
which is not gonna happen because I still have 3 left. Wolves of the Kala. Here, I'll show them to you. Wolves of the Kala, Song of Susanna, and The Dark Tower. Probably not gonna happen, but, you know, I'm really hoping to finish the series by the end of the year. So I can... No one saw that. So I can... I want to start reading the graphic novel series as well because I have the first 4 of that, and I want to see how that is. I just want to wait until I finish the whole series before I start reading those. And then as far as audiobooks go, because I'm listening to audiobooks a lot recently, I'm almost done with an audiobook. I've been listening to The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling, and it's really good. I really like it so far. I like it a lot more than A Casual Vacancy, and I'm definitely going to listen to The Silkworm because it's narrated by the same guy. His name is Robert Graysner or something. I can't remember exactly what his name is, but he is an awesome narrator. I really, really like his narration a lot, and he does the narration for The Silkworm as well, so I'm going to listen to that on audiobook. Then, as also an audiobook, I'm going to listen to The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I was planning on reading this very soon, or listening to an audiobook very soon anyway, because the second book comes out and I just wanted to give the series a shot. But on Black Friday, it went on sale for $5, so I just went ahead and bought it then, because why not? And I also got A Christmas Carol, because Samantha from Novels and Nonsense is doing a Charles Dickens read-along this entire month. And I'm just going to listen to that. It's narrated by Tim Curry, and I freaking love Tim Curry, and I'm really excited to listen to that. I can't remember what else I have. Lead and Skin Deep, I might start listening to The Silkworm later on this month. It depends on what else I get to. I did decide to get the 2 credit a month thing from Audible, because why not? It seems like a pretty good deal to me. And because I'm going to be listening to audiobooks while I'm driving and working, because it's been working out really well. It's been helping me to get through more books every month, just because I don't have a whole lot of time during the day to read. I'm usually at work every single day, so I can only really read at night. So audiobooks are helping with that a lot, and I'm really liking them. And so I'm doing Audible, and I also just found out about this thing called Overdrive, which Paige from Enchantology told me about in a comment on one of my videos, and that is awesome. Overdrive is the greatest thing ever, because you can just borrow anything from your library. I have library cards from 2 different library systems, and it helps me save money on audiobooks and stuff, which is awesome. I'm listening to Cuckoo's Calling from Overdrive right now. They don't have everything. They don't have a whole lot to choose from in the way of audiobooks, which is why I still have to do Audible, but at the same time, whatever they do have, I don't have to buy. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if you've read any of this, or what you read this month, what you plan on reading in December. And yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.